well, since you heard my conversation with the captain that I have no trolling motor, he said, you know what, Cap, I trust you and I'm sure you're going to figure something out. And lo and behold, we had one of the best trips. And the gentleman at the end of the trip that gave me that attaboy. And I'm like, oh man, I pulled off another magic trick out of my hat on that one.
Okay, everyone, welcome to the 4th episode of the Guidesley Girls. I'm Carly.
And I'm Delaney. And we have our very
Captain
own...
Lou. I'm Captain Lou.
Woo! Captain Lou, we are so excited to have you on here. Quite frankly, I've been waiting to have you on here ever since we started the podcast. Meeting you in February, I was like, I know the guy. He is the guy for a podcast interview. So we're excited to dive into it a little bit today and get to know you a little bit better on air.
And I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. Came out of the blue. And when I saw it, I'm like, man, I enjoy this community so much that I'm like, okay, I'm there. I will move what I need to move, but I'm going to be here.
And I love it.
I'm so glad you're a part of it too. I know that you're newer to the community and we'll dive into that a little bit. But first, I think Carly's going to start us off with a little game. Classic.
Yes, we're certainly going to start off with my favorite game of in or out. So Lou, it's pretty fast paced. I'm looking for you to say in or out. And I've got 4 questions for you today.
I'm ready.
Okay?
I'm ready. Like I said,
right,
I'm ready. I know this game. I'm ready. I'm just curious of the questions.
All right. Python hunting, in or out?
Out.
Bringing your kids on the boat, in or out?
In.
Love it. Fishing outside of South Florida, in or out?
In.
All right. We know you live in Miami, so Miami nightlife, in or out?
Well, for me personally?
Yeah.
Do you right now and then you 20 years ago?
Oh, my wife will laugh at this question. She's probably hearing me in the next room. I'm out. I'm a homebody. I'm out. I know I live in Party Central, but I'm out on this.
I love it. Me too.
I love it. Okay, and I lied. I got one more. Fishing in different countries, in or out?
In.
Awesome. That's our game of rapid fire, in or out.
I put that one in there because I was a little bit curious to see what kind of worldwide fishing you've done, because you do some special fishing on the day-to-day, but comparing and contrasting it with the rest of the world, it's kind of curious.
Yeah, I get to experience what a lot of people, they have the fortunate experience to fly out of the country and fish for some of the species that we have down here. I'm fortunate just to have that in my backyard. You know, I'm fishing the smaller brethren. I mean, I would love to someday maybe go South America and fish for like the big peacocks and stuff like that. But in the meantime, everybody, instead of going down south, they come here and I'm the one that provides them that experience.
Right. Wait, yeah, just to start off, can you explain a little bit of what kind of fishing you do on the day-to-day? Like explain a week in the life of Lou. Where are you driving? What kind of trips you're running? What kind of people are you taking out? What are you catching?
Oh, wow. That's a very loaded question. There's a lot of good questions.
That's why I had like 7
excited.
I had like 7 sub bullet points beneath the 1 point.
You shot them all out in one. Okay, I gotcha. Well, my areas are, I fish the South Florida area. So my areas are basically like south of Palm Beach, all the way down to the base of the Keys. So I have a pretty big territory. I have found that the more diverse I am as far as guiding, I'm able to interact with a lot more clients because people fly in from all over the place, and we got Palm Beach, we got Fort Lauderdale, we got Miami, and some of these people have to do some very long drives. So if I could find a fishery that's close to them, or if they're willing to drive, then I will find a location suitable for what they're looking for.
Consultation process look like? I know that's not the most important question to ask, but just out of curiosity, once you get a booking from a client, what does it look like to take them and give them the trip that they want?
That's a great question. And I can only speak to how I do things. I contact my clients usually anywhere between a week to 2 weeks out to their guide trip. Okay. Because it gives me a good sense of who they are and what they're looking for. And we get to interact and get to meet each other over the phone. And I find that's extremely helpful because by the time we actually get to see each other, sometimes we have spoken anywhere between 3 to 5 times on the phone. So when we get to meet each other for the first time, it's like we're friends. So that is like the coolest experience, but that's something I've learned in my past professions. So communication is key, and I get to hear what their expectations are, and then I get to go ahead and provide them what's going on in that particular season or that particular outing, what to be expecting, and that way everything is I bring up everything up and forward. I don't want them to be caught by surprise and stuff like that. If it's going to be tough fishing, I'm gonna let them know it's going to be tough fishing. If it's fantastic fishing, I'm gonna let them know it's going to be fantastic fishing. I just like to be upfront and let them know everything up front.
Right.
So I have a question. You live in a very destination-based area, right? Like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, like a lot of people like me go on vacation there every winter.
Sure.
Do you get a lot of locals that book with you, or is it mainly people visiting the area?
I get a combination of both. My locals are individuals that enjoy fishing. However, they don't have, let's say, a boat, or they don't have the time, and they just want to go fishing. I have that group. I also have like the individuals you said are destination, international clients that come down. A lot of people from up north around this time of year coming up soon. They just start flocking down, and our busy season is going to kick off. If it hasn't kicked off already, it's going to be kicking off pretty soon. And it's a lot of people from up north. I got some people this summer from out west. I mean, it's a good combination of people from around the world.
Do you feel like your clientele is pretty similar with people that are open to different opportunities and you kind of leading the way of where they should go? Because I don't even know. I'm thinking of me booking a trip in, we'll say the Everglades. I wouldn't even know where to start with what to book, what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. I feel like you would have to take a very curious and excited person to book a trip with you. You're a very experiential guide, I feel like.
Yes. That's a great. Now that I understand your question, it's a good question, and that comes in that happens when we're having that initial interaction, that initial phone call, because something piqued your interest to try to fish the Everglades that you've never fished before, and I'm going to try to get as much information out of you to see how I can cater that trip to fulfill your experience of what you're looking for, and then we grow from there.
All right, so I want to dive more into a couple of the trips that you run out in the Glades, of course. But first, before we do that, can you give us a little backstory on how you got into fishing in the first place? If it first started with fishing, what your first trip was?
That was my question.
The origin story.
My origin story. My origin story is pretty unique. I started fishing at the age of around 9 or 10.
And you were in Miami?
Yes, I'm born and raised in Miami. Never lived anywhere else. Born and raised. Our family's we're just all here local, and so what happened was, being a kid, you're home bored. My mom needed to get me out of the house, and we went to the nearby department store. She got me a rod and reel. Took me to a neighborhood canal. She doesn't know anything about fishing, but she just needed to get me out of the house. And my dad needed to get me out of the house. So we just went fishing. And again, they didn't know anything. I didn't know anything, but I was hooked. I was self-taught from there. I mean, back then, I'm going to give, a little bit of my age away, but I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s. So back then, you had your Saturday morning TV fishing shows, and you got your magazines, and that's how I slowly started getting into fishing, and it's been a passion of mine ever since.
That's a very rugged education process.
I find that when your passion finds you, regardless of how much exposure you have to it, but since you love it so much, you just forge your way and you just learn as you go. I didn't have many fishing mentors until I was in my 20s. I'm fortunate to have several fishing mentors now, and I'm later in life. But back when I got started, I didn't have mentors, but I just loved it, and I just learned as I went along, and I got better over time.
How does it take you into guiding then? So you've loved it, you've been doing it your whole life. How do you get into guiding? Has it always been your career?
No, my career, my background is in the customer service. My background is more into education and wellness. I went to, like I said, I went to college down here as well. I got my degrees. in exercise science and wellness education, and I dedicated. I'm still in it part time, but I educated my life was 30 years of coaching and wellness education and teaching and all this kind of stuff. And I've always been around people and athletes and kids and people from all walks of life throughout my entire professional career. And then COVID came around. The pandemic came around in 2020, and unfortunately that affected my business, and it came to a standstill. And I was at a crossroads with my life, because I dedicated over 30 years of my profession. I had a choice to either rebuild it and continue with it and utilize technologies to continue with it, or feed this passion that I had. My passion, which was fishing. I've always was fascinated by guiding. Throughout the years, I took friends out and people that I knew out, or friends that referred me to somebody that, can you please take this guy out fishing or this person fishing? And I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, it's fishing. Let's go. We'll do this. So we took them out and stuff like that. And I also followed very well-known guides that we have down here on YouTube when they started first getting started with YouTube and stuff like that. And I saw those videos and I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do this one. And then the pandemic hit, and I was at a crossroads, and I had a meeting with my wife and my family. And I said, you know what? I want to do this guiding. I want to get into guiding. And my wife didn't even let me finish the sentence. And she's like, do that. Because that's going to encompasses everything that I do. From all my facets of life, guiding does that when it comes to coaching and getting to know people and teaching, and all that is in the guiding experience. And I've been doing it ever since. I'm slowly growing. It's not like I took off like a rocket ship. I'm still building and still growing, but I'm having a great time evolving and learning the process.
It's very all roads lead to Rome-esque. Except, I guess, all roads lead to the Everglades or South Florida.
Yeah. You could put it like that.
That's awesome.
Can you describe what it's like to be in a position that almost fulfills every piece of what you've done? It's kind of like all of your loves, not all of your loves. I'm sure you have a lot more, but a lot of them coming together in one profession. That's another excellent question, because I've been thinking about that a lot lately with some of the interactions that I've been having with clients, especially the kids. I've been very fortunate, especially this summer, to be interacting with a lot of young anglers. And they ask, I mean, I have 2 kids of my own. I mean, they're growing up now, but kids have the way of asking you the right question. You're like, I gotta think about this. They got that intuition.
Oh man, I mean, their honesty is so, like, sometimes they're a little bit too honest. You're like, but they ask very good questions. And when it comes to what you just asked, I find it very fortunate and lucky to be put in a position like that, because, like I said, I see myself as the ambassador of the sport. And I also see myself as like the ambassador of that memory. I mean, even that memory of that outing, because even if they, 10 years from now, they're like, oh, Dad, remember when we went to the Everglades? They might not remember me, but I facilitated that memory. Right. And that's the kind of stuff that drives me. I mean, the financial stuff comes with the financial stuff, but it's just being able to utilize my skill set to fulfill a young angler's or a family's, like, bucket list, let's say, of a fishing experience in the Everglades. I mean, I eat that up. I mean, I get more excited than they do. I can't sleep the night before. I mean, it's just because I'm like trying to cater to what they want.
But it's so infectious, though. Like, I think such a hard part about being a guide, and I've never been a guide, but talking to all of our guides, you are maintaining your composure that entire time. I mean, you're stressed about making sure everything's safe. You're stressed about everybody having a good time, making sure people getting on fish, because at the end of the day, that's what people want to do. It's still your livelihood. You're making money. How do you do such a great job at bringing positivity from every situation that I've seen you in? Your boats sound infectious. I can't wait until I get on it one day. How do you maintain your composure and make sure to give everybody a great day, even if it's not a great day fishing?
Ooh, That's a good one.
That's a toughie.
That's a good question. That's a toughie because it encompasses a lot. What happens is I think I draw a lot on my professional experience with interacting with so many people from so many different walks of life, because I've been faced with so many challenges on the fly when it comes to many other situations. And when it comes to fishing, I got the fishing aspect down. I mean, I've been doing this for close to over 40 years. I mean, since I was 10 years old, and I'm already pushing the fifth floor. So I have have some experience under my belt, but to be able to grow from that experience and be able to then transfer that in a situation that presents itself, that's where a lot of challenges come in. And that's where I find that I need to my communication has to be on point, and I have to be able to explain to them what's going on. And then, like I said, pull a magic trick out of my hat and pull things off. Cause I've had a few these last couple of months. I've had some that I was like, oh my God, I'm glad I got that trip over with. Just not because of the client, because of the conditions and situation I was placed in. And for the kid to say, or for the child and the young angler to say, I want to come back next year. I was like, whew, I pulled that one off. So I mean, hopefully I answered your question, but I mean, there's a lot of moving parts because yes, at the end of the day, I am responsible for a lot of things. I am responsible for their safety. I mean, we are in the Everglades. I mean, we do come across wildlife, a lot of toothy wildlife. And I have to, we're around hooks and we're around this and we're around that. And I have to try to make this whole thing a fun experience. And at the same time, be very protective of these anglers in the situations we get ourselves into.
What I asked this question last time to a different guide, and a fun story came out of it. But based on the years that you've been guiding, what has been the most memorable experience?
Okay, so I was a little bit ready for this one because, like I said, I saw some of you guys' other podcasts. So I was like, "Ooh, what story can I share with them?" There's a lot of stories, of course, but this one is recent. And it has two parts to it. So I met this gentleman. He booked the trip. He had two grandsons, and they wanted to come down and do some peacock bass fishing. And I'm like, perfect. Let's go ahead and do that. I tell them the location. It's a little bit of a remote location, but it's easy to get to. I mean, I send my clients pins on everything and tell them exactly where to go. So I get to the ramp. I always get to my ramp early before the client even thinks about getting there. I'm like half hour to 45 minutes early. I get to the ramp and there's already another guide there. It's already the sun hasn't even come up yet, or not even thinking about coming up yet. I'm in the middle of the Everglades. This particular guide, I know him by profession. I didn't know him personally at the time. So I get to the ramp. I launch my boat. Everything is good to go. I went to go ahead and test my trolling motor, and my batteries, for whatever reason, died. I mean, I checked them the night before. Everything was right. And all of a sudden, I have an electrical issue. 0 batteries, 0. And I'm like, no, I just confirmed with the client. They are on their minutes. I mean, they're almost here.
Oh my gosh.
Man. So I see this. I mean, the gentleman gets out of his car. The reason why he's in his car is because at this location, you have tons of mosquitoes. So if you're not in your car, you're getting killed because of, it's the Everglades. You got mosquitoes in the morning. So this gentleman walks out, and as he's walking out of his car, another car approaches, and I'm like, oh, those have to be my clients. And all of a sudden, this car pulls up to the guide. The window comes down, and they're like, oh yes, hi, and they shake hands and everything. I'm like, oh, it's his clients. I'm like, okay, no problem. So they go ahead and park their car. I go ahead and tell the guide, sir, this is what's going on. I have no batteries. This is my game plan. I might encroach in your area if you're fishing, this particular area. I'm going to be there because I have to use my power pole, which is it's an anchor that you're able to hold a position. So I had to use that technology, and I did that. And he's like, no problem. We had a little bit more of a chit chat. The clients that I thought the clients come in, I said hello to them, and they go over to his boat. I'm like, okay, and they're all in his boat. And I'm still talking to this guide about my electrical issues, so forth and so on. Then this other car comes out of the darkness and pulls up right in front of me. And he goes, "Are you Captain so and so?" And I'm like, "No, I'm Captain Lou." And then the other captain goes, "No, I'm Captain so and so." And then we all look over to the other party on the other boat, and I'm like, and he looks at me like, "Captain Lou." I'm like, "Yes, me." That's me. So they had to get out of that boat, come over to my boat, and then I told him, like, "Well, since you heard my conversation with the captain that I have no trolling motor, this is the situation." And he goes, he was a very good man. He said, "You know what, Cap? I trust you, and I'm sure you're going to figure something out." And lo and behold, we had one of the best trips. Like I said, you got to pull a magic trick out of your hat.
Yeah.
Pulled a successful trip. The kids had a blast. They caught beautiful peacock bass, and the gentleman at the end of the trip that gave me that attaboy, and I'm like, "Oh man, I pulled off another magic trick out of my hat on that one." So that story, I had it prepped for you guys.
Freaking awesome. Wait, how did you get the trolling motor going? Did you not?
I didn't.
No?
I didn't have any trolling motor. So what happened was, in this particular location, since I knew the area well, I was able to utilize my power pole and anchor and fish fish this area a little bit differently because I knew what the fish were doing. So I was able to capitalize on that boat positioning, and then I was able to move from spot to spot, doing that technique, and fortunately it worked. And I got my trolling motor batteries fixed right after that. I got a whole new set, and that's a whole other topic of conversation.
What? You're like Snow White, just like singing to the birds, except it's to all the fish ever. That's freaking
funny.
awesome.
Yes, I mean we get faced with those situations all the time. I mean not all the time. We don't like those situations, but you have to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan E. You just have to, in order for, because these people are depending on you, and sometimes, unfortunately, if something happens and there's ample time, then we might find another captain or we reschedule and stuff like that. But when stuff happens on the fly, that's when guiding gets really, really interesting, especially when you have young, inexperienced anglers. They've been geared up for this trip this whole time, and all of a sudden, I don't have the heart to tell them, we can't do it. I got to figure something out quick.
Well, especially when they say, "I trust you. Let's go."
Yeah, when they say that,
I have to figure it out. It's the highest of high compliments, but also the highest of high standards.
Yes, very high standards. And like I said, I've been in the customer service industry for a very, very long time. That customer service was instilled in me at a very young part of my career, and I grow on that, and that's what keeps a lot of people coming back. I mean, it's just because of the interaction, and they're like, my clients are on the top of my priority list, and that's my focus. Now, once I get home and everything's over, then the decompression just hits me like a ton of bricks, and I'm like,
wait, what
I gotta get geared up and ready for the next day. So
what does the Lou nighttime routine look like? What does the decompress and wind down look like after a long day on the water?
Okay, so I mean, the guiding is very, very full time. Meaning what people see is the act of the fishing and the conversation and all that good stuff. But the prep before and then the wind down after, that takes a lot of time. I mean, the prep time you have, and then I have what I call my socials, where you have to get your social stuff out and all the other stuff because of the experience. So, a 4-hour guide trip turns into behind the scenes can turn into anywhere between 8 hours or more because of prep on both sides of the equation. So when I come home, I mean, like I said, fortunately, like my kids are grown up. It's just my wife and I right now. And so my decompression is I like to take a nice hot shower, depending on the day of the week. I have my comfort food. I love Italian. So I'll have my nice Italian food. It's a very nice hearty dinner. And I have a couple of cold ones. And if I don't have anything the next day, I am out till the following morning.
Sounds like
and that's how I decompress. So sometimes when it's back to back to back, I don't decompress until the end of the week because you don't have that luxury you just got to gear up for the next client because it's a different level of expectations. It's a different level of fishing. It's crazy, but fun at the same time.
Yeah, it's a really awkward schedule, but I think it works for a certain type of person.
Yes, it does. And I'm an early morning guy. I'm not an evening person. So
Yeah,
my wife and I are opposite. She's an evening person. I am not.
same.
I'm like the traditional morning person at night. I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody. It's just because I wind down. But you want to have a conversation at 4:30 in the morning, I'm your guy because I get up early. So it's one of those things.
That's like Delaney and I. We're yin and yang. I'm the morning person. She's
I
the
know.
evening person. We balance
So
it.
that's where my logo comes from. My logo is actually the copy of the yin and the yang. Because I like what you said,
I
but I
didn't even
did it
know
with a
that.
peacock and a
That's
largemouth. Yeah,
beautiful.
that's my whole thing. Yeah, that's my whole thing. My whole thought process was the yin and the yang because that's what it's all about. But I did it with a peacock and a largemouth on
Wait,
my logo.
I was gonna ask you that because I've been seeing your logo everywhere. Your marketing and socials have been off the charts
Yeah.
right now. Do you
I am
want to
working
plug
on
them
it
really
so
quick?
hard.
Yeah, it's paying
That's
off. Do you want to plug your socials real quick?
Well, my socials is if you want to learn and you want to get taught, my YouTube channel is up and running. I've been doing that for a few years now. Instagram, been doing that a lot now, and Facebook, I've been doing that a lot now. Those are my top three. I haven't ventured off into TikTok. A lot of people are pushing me to do TikTok, and TikTok, it's just, but
Yeah.
every avenue, it just requires time, and it's like on top of that,
So
I got this
much.
responsibility, and it's like, oh, I gotta breathe.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, it's clear how much work and time you put into it, but also that you have a natural knack for it, especially on YouTube. I feel like that's such a Lou-esque platform because it really gives you the time and the space to be able to go all school teacher on everybody and
I know.
lay down exactly what's going on.
So, how do they find you? Is it Bassin with Captain Lou or like
Bassin with Captain Lou. Yeah, Bassin with Captain Lou. You type that anywhere and you're gonna find me in all arenas. Because because my guide service, is like, well, what is it about your guide service? My guide service is me. I'm the experience. I'm the
Yes, you
gateway
are.
to that. So that's why when I was like, man, what name do I choose for myself? It's like, you know what? That's been my tag in forums. I've been part of forums for many, many years. That's my tag. Once I became a captain, I was like, you know what? I'll just throw the captain in there, and
There you go.
here we are. So yeah, yes, YouTube gives me the platform to be able to be the teacher, as you say. It's an ongoing relationship with with YouTube because one thing is being in front of that camera and doing your thing, and you think you put out a great video, and then it's like wah wah. I'm like, oh man, I didn't get any views on this one. So I'm constantly evolving and trying to see that hook to see how I could capture my audience and all the other stuff. And the Instagram stuff is just capturing the experience at that moment, and I call myself the hand behind the screen because I'm just showcasing the fish. A lot of people showcase themselves, and maybe I should do that more. I don't know. I'll let my audience tell me that or not. But I like showcasing. The experience and what I'm doing and where I'm at, and that's what I like doing in the Instagram and Facebook ethos. So I'm like I said, I'm evolving.
One of these days you have two daughters, right?
No, I have my youngest is my daughter and my oldest is my son.
Okay. How old are they again?
They are 19 and 17.
Nice.
You should get whichever one likes fishing the most or whichever one is most obsessed with your socials to come out with you one day and record you doing your thing. Cause I guarantee that Lou in and of himself would do pretty well on the platform.
I think both of them will get a kick out of that, to be honest with you. It'll be pretty funny because I mean they see me as dad, so of course, and it's like, Dad, don't do that. It's like, oh, Dad, I can't believe you said that, and it's like, so it's that type of
they're like,
relationship.
Delaney, they don't want that they don't want to know what Dad does at socials. They're like, they can't tell their friends.
Well, the cool thing about that is that I've been fortunate enough to take some of my kids' friends out fishing. So that's been pretty fun. That's been pretty cool. Yeah, that was a pretty cool experience. I've been able to do that a couple of times.
Are your kids into fishing?
They're not into fishing as much as I am. I haven't. I mean, unfortunately, it's unfortunate, I would say, because I mean, when it's fishing for me is my thing, and I think my kids see how much energy I put into it. Like, I don't know if I want to do all that, and they didn't catch the bug, I would say, but when the opportunity does come up, we have a great time. I'll put it to you that way.
I was going to ask you about the fishing bug. Everybody talks about it. It's kind of like, have you heard the saying? no matter how many times you describe a slice of pie until you take a bite of the pie, you don't actually know.
Correct.
That's the fishing bug and how I hear people talk about it. And it's so far so wide. Can you describe the pie of the fishing bug and what it feels like to catch that for the first time?
Okay, so the fishing bug is a jolt of electricity. I think it's the universe's way of telling you that you found a love for something. Because you hear these stories of people that go to life. I don't have any hobbies, and I don't do this, and and all of a sudden they were met with whatever it was, basket weaving or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden it's like that experience, just that lock and key experience, and then their life forever changed. And mine was very fortunate to happen at a very, very young age. Right. It was just lock and key. Did I know what I was doing? No, I did not. But man, did I freaking love it. I was catching these little fish, and I would be out by myself and the neighborhood canal and learning my knots and with my bobber and with
oh my God.
I had a great time. I had a great time, and fishing was my escape from the everyday world. Fishing still is till this day. I need to decompress. I need to take some time. It's my meditation. It just completely separates me from reality for a little bit, and then it's just hand to hand with trying to figure out the bite for the day. And I come back like, okay, I'm good. Let's continue with what had me going.
I was going to say, how does it, like, taking your passion, making it into a business, and it's something you say, okay, it relieves like the stress. You get excited about it all the time. But when you combine it with business, it certainly adds another layer. So how is it when you take your passion and make it a business?
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one. And it's one that I, to a degree, I wrestled with it. I have a very good friend. He knows me very, very well, and he knows how important fishing is to me. And his concern was, when it comes to guiding, is like, man, I don't want you to fall out of love of fishing, because fishing is such an important part of your life. That's, people who know me identify as like, I was the fishing bit. That's how it always goes. It's not this, not that. It's like, how's the fishing? And then that's it. You tell me that, and we're going to have a very long conversation. However, I have learned, this has come up in the last couple of years when it comes to guiding for me, because again, I did start this later in my life. I have found a different passion, meaning how to take the experience in my head and be able to, without, in some cases, not even touch a fishing rod, or just be able to just describe and teach somebody who has never done it before how to get this to there for them to have a successful day on the water, and then come out like successful. That for me is like, oh man, I really like this, because it's just so many challenges. I mean, because people have an idea of fishing. I mean, they see, we see it on social media all the time. It's like they show up and they're like, oh, if you throw this shiner, you're going to catch a fish in 3 minutes. And I'm like, no, you're not. It's going to take some time depending on what's going on. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, this is the fishing rod. This is what you're going to do. And this is how you're going to throw it. And they're like, I'm like, they don't know how to cast. And they're in a boat that's moving with the wind. And so that's the beauty of trying to, or being very creative and getting to the level of that angler, and be able to communicate and show them at their level how to have an enjoyable experience. And that's what I feed off of. I match the person's experience. If they're high level, we're going to have a great time. If they're just getting started, we're going to have a great time, because I meet those expectations as best I can.
Well, I always say those are always my favorite teachers and coaches. All the coaches that I've ever had that meet me exactly where I am, get me the exact game plan for where I am. I did gymnastics. Every single one of the conditioning list specifically for my body to do what I needed to do, meet me where I was. That's where I made the most progress and had the best day.
Yeah. I was very fortunate to coach. I was very fortunate to coach high school and middle school for many years, sports, and I was an assistant coach and everything else for many years.
What kind of sports?
It taught me. Mainly has been, my main focus was a lot of flag football. in both co-ed in middle school, and then high school girls flag football. I was introduced to that, and I was hooked. I was hooked. I mean, you ladies bring a whole different level of competition that you guys, a lot of you guys, don't get credit for. And when I saw that level of competition, I was like, I'm in. I mean, I did it.
In flag football, ladies have got something to prove. We've never had that opportunity before. That's pretty exciting to now feel and be able to do that.
It's a great sport. It's a growing sport. It's a very competitive sport. And especially here in South Florida, I mean, we have so many very good athletes. So when football season came around, flag football season came around, I was like, oh. And I was at a crossroads when I decided to become a guide. I was at a crossroads and I had to make a decision because I loved coaching. I loved teaching. As you guys can see, I start talking about coaching. I start getting fired up because I just love it. But I was faced with a crossroads as I was given the opportunity to be a high school head coach. And then at the same time, I had a guide business that's another passion of mine that I wanted to, so I had to make a decision. And then I went the guiding route. Did it hurt? I mean, part of me did, because my daughter then started playing high school flag football, and I fell in love with it all over again. And then she would look at me like, Dad, I would have to coach her really quick, and then she'll get back out there, even though I wasn't the coach. No, she would look at me and we'll communicate, like communicate from the stands. It's like, go this way.
But she let you coach her. She let you be a sideline coach. That's a good daughter.
Well, I was fortunate enough to coach my kids in middle school. I coached them each 2 seasons. Awesome. That was a whole unique experience in itself. But I mean, I was very fortunate to do that. And they took those skills, especially my daughter. She remembered those skills in middle school and she applied it to high school. And then she would circle back. It's like, Dad, I remember when you told me this, and that. And then we will have our little coaching sessions during her in season. So it was a pretty cool experience, when we had that happen.
Yeah. Well, it also sounds like you said you had a lot of kids this summer just on charters, or were you coaching them in fishing? How did that factor?
Well, I mean, I wasn't coaching them per se, but a guide session becomes a coaching session because
for you.
Yeah. Yes. Well, yeah. For me, it becomes a coaching session because what happens is, like I said, everybody has this idea when they go fishing out in the Everglades. The Everglades can be pretty challenging in the sense of depending on what the fish are doing, especially if you're fishing with artificials or if you're fishing with live bait. Even some of these fish can be located in specific areas, and these areas can be very challenging to cast to. And these kids may not have the skill set to be able to cast there. And they need to get there if they want to catch something. So I have to coach them on how to cast and everything else because it gets very spot specific sometimes. But don't worry, I have my track record is pretty good. By the end of the charter, they are experts. They're like, I couldn't believe I did that. I'm like, yeah, you did. So we have a good time. We have a very good time.
I think this is the charter we need to go out on.
I agree. I'm in.
I mean,
I'm already headed to Florida.
I've been looking forward to have somebody on the Guidesley team come on board, and so we can showcase not only the ecosystem, but to showcase my guide service and everything else. And I'm looking forward to the day that phone rings for that.
Deal.
Soon.
Well, we're about to pop back in the office, and we'll see what happens with that.
Well, this is a perfect time to tell the audience a few things. So if you're listening, Lou is actually wearing a Guidesley hat because he was the first to really contribute to the Guidesley community that we have on Facebook. So we're approaching 200 members, and I'm so excited because that number just goes up and up every episode we record. So if you're an angler yourself, a guide, you love fishing, hunting, outdoor recreation, this is the community for you. It's called the Guidesley Community. You find it on Facebook. Please join us there. You're going to see Captain Lou and all of his amazing trips, and he posts so much in our community, and we appreciate it so much.
You're very, very welcome. I enjoy the community so much. I enjoyed it
too.
From the time that you guys, I reached out to you guys, which is a long time ago. And then when I went to the mixer earlier the part of this year, and I was able to see how the staff interacted with everybody and the way you guys have helped me in the behind the scenes stuff, I was like, I really like this. And then I really enjoy this community. And when the Facebook community came up, I was like, you know what? I want to do this because, I mean, you guys are, like I said, you guys are the administrators and stuff like that. But You guys will be able to control the environment and be such a friendly place. And I see how it's growing. I think we're up to 182 people. And again, my background was in forums and stuff like that for many years. And I just enjoyed the interaction. And I still have friends that I, till this day from my forum years, that I just needed to meet them. And they've been friends of mine for years. But this community is so cool because it's guides, hunting guides, fishing guides, clients. So that community, it's all about fishing or hunting and all that stuff. I'm in, man. That's awesome to share stories and teach. And you give me a platform to do it. Forget it. I'm in.
Crushed it. So make sure you join our Guidely community on Facebook. It's one of a kind.
Amen. Also, one last thing that I wanted to leave the people with. Actually, two more things. One, I've been nursing a lake hour this whole time. They're not a sponsor.
Me too.
We were just sent a free pack today. They're out of Canandaigua, New York. Delicious vodka cocktail I got. What do you have, Carly?
I have the raspberry tea vodka iced tea. It's really good.
And yes, it's 3:30 p.m.
I mean, you guys are, it's like, I'm sure it's happy.
Lou, we should have started with that.
No, Lou, I want to bring a case down. They're really good. They have fun flavors. I have rosemary yuzu right now. So if you want to feel a little bougie.
Okay.
When we come fishing.
How's that? I'll have one after our guide trip.
Yes. No, that's right. No drinking before on the boat.
Not for me. You guys have a blast. Yeah. Me, no.
No, that's our Guidesley rule. Actually, we don't drink before or during a trip. We're all business when we're on there, and then when we're off and we've done the deed and we get what we need to, then we can have a little fun.
There you go.
Okay, but one last thing that I wanted to leave the people with. We were talking about the universe and meditation and all of the things.
Yes.
Can you describe in a very calm and meditative voice what it's like to be out in the Everglades, riding on a boat when the sun is rising? What's it like being out there? No distractions, no anything. What are the sounds you're hearing? I've never been, and I just want to be in the moments that you are all of the time.
With the voice too? Holy smokes.
You don't have to do it with the voice. I'm just curious.
Funny part that you mentioned that was because I used to do meditation, not meditation, but I used to do hypnosis work and stuff like that. Many moons ago, I used to do hypnosis. Oh yeah, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I used to fly airplanes. I used to do scuba diving. I used to do a lot of stuff.
You have no idea. You have no idea how much I've been holding back with the backstory questions. That's a whole other segment that we're going to have to talk about off the air. But I knew that would open up a can of worms.
The next time you bring me on, we'll cover some of those backstories of the stuff.
We'll just do the Lou timeline.
But when it comes to answering your question, what is the expectation in a meditative type of way? So imagine this. You're okay. So first things first, you're coming out, you're driving out. It is very early in the morning. Okay. Mm-hmm. Stars are out. Sun is not even thinking about coming out. You're doing your drive out in the Everglades, and then you see that the first rays of light coming up from the east. Now, depending on where you're at, those images are so beautiful because you start getting the backgrounds of the trees and everything that you're being surrounded by, and you get some beautiful silhouettes, especially if you have the moon setting on the other side. I mean, the lighting is unbelievable. On top of that, now you start listening to the nighttime creatures are starting to go to bed. So their activity starts to wind down. And then you start getting the daytime creatures, a whole bunch of birds and animals like that. They start waking up as the sun is rising, which is very, very beautiful. Now, depending on the type of year, depending on the temperature and everything else, you might have this nice fog that's coming out of the water and stuff like that. And that's like, whoa. And then you get into that boat, you start that engine just starts purring. You start off nice and easy. You don't want to gun it. You just want to, capture what's going on at first. And then you're seeing this turtle pop up for the first time during the morning. And then you see Mr. Alligator. The alligators have been active all night. So they're just coming in and they're starting to find their hangout spots for the afternoon. So you see them all over the place. If you get there early enough with a flashlight, you'll be able to see all their eyes glowing in the middle of the waterways. but you're going along, the engine is humming, and you just go ahead and you just start slowly pushing that throttle down. You start picking up speed, and then you just start getting the whiff of the outside, and that's what's pretty cool. I mean, you get to smell the Everglades, get to smell life, and get ready for the adventure that's setting stage, that's getting set up for you. And then after that, I mean, you're just in this ecosphere of just all this life around you, depending on where you go. It's just life. I mean, you may have an otter one day, you may have a deer come out of nowhere one day. You got alligators all over, you got all kinds of insects, and you got birds, and you got this, and you got and then all the while you're fishing for these unique exotic fish that we're the only ones in the country that we have that. Like, we're the only ones that have peacock bass in the continental United States.
Right.
We have the snakehead, we have the clown knifefish, we have the Mayan cichlid, we have the Oscar. So, I mean, we have these host of characters, I would say, because each fish is a character that we're able to go ahead and chase after. And then once the bite starts to pop off, it's just like this nonstop craziness, I would say. It's just this cool adventure that by the time the trip is over, they're just tapping out because they've just been sensory overload. They're tapping out. It's like, I'm done. This is too much. I'm done. I'm good. So, I mean, when a person taps out, I've had people tap out before their trip. It's like, okay, man, I'm good. I'm good. I was like, I did my job.
Perfect.
It sounds like a complete and total different world. And every time I even get a dose of the Everglades, it sounds like one of those things that pulls you out of real life as you know it, whatever real life is to you, to be there.
It does. It is. It's a very unique place. It's a very unique ecosystem. I mean, I am very fortunate to have that as my playground. It's just, I mean, from the wildlife to what, to the areas that I get to experience and stuff like that. It's sometimes I find that my clients are the ones that bring me back down to reality, because what happens is that you get so used to it, you just get complacent in where you're at. Like, for example, the people like, you see the excitement for the alligators. I want to see an alligator. I want to see an alligator, and I'm like, alligator? It's like I see thousands of them a week, but to that person. For example, me, when I go up north and someone say, I had a bear in the backyard. Like, you had a bear in your backyard? See, for me, I go absolutely crazy for that. But for that person, the alligator is their bear that they see every day, or a moose or whatever. But for me, it's like, oh, okay. So to get to introduce them, that is a very unique experience, and then tell them the stories, and everybody has all these great questions. And then I tell them the history of like the peacock and stuff like that. I become conservationist, and I become a guide, and I wear a lot of hats on that trip.
That seems to be par for the course for you.
Thank you. I mean, I really do enjoy it. And I, like I said, when my wife reacted and said, yes, that's what you're going to do. And she hit the nail on the head on that one. I'm having a good time. I have a great time with my clients. Each guide trip is different, because I don't know what that person or what that experience is going to bring. So that's like, I don't know. I have to be ready at any moment to see what presents itself.
Well, I can't wait to experience it in real time pretty soon.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I am really looking forward to it with you guys, because like we talked about in that mixer, it's like you had such great questions, and for like that lock and key I told you guys about, you have so many questions and such equivalent question. For me to be able to provide you with the experience, you're going to be like, oh man, that was pretty cool.
Well, I'm excited to take a bite of the pie pretty soon.
Lou, thanks so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And for one last time, Bassin' with Captain Lou is how you find him. Go book a charter with him. Have the time of your life. It sounds like a great experience, and we can't wait to experience it ourselves.
Thank you for having me, ladies. Thank you for thinking of me, especially in your infancy of your podcast. I'm looking forward to other episodes, and I'm sure you guys are going to hit out of the park with your energy and with your questions and all that good stuff. So I wish you guys the best of luck as well.
Thank you so much, Lou. You're the best.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll see you.